we are going to have a story next from Andrew Laws. So I hand you over to Andrew.
Thank you, Reverend Toastmaster. I'm going to tell you, sorry, excuse me. There's a story called They Gasped When I Sat Down at the Piano, but Then I Started to Play. It's a story about something that happened many, many years ago. I was invited to a Christmas party, but I was invited by someone I didn't really know very well. Invitation came through my door, and I first had a clue that it wasn't really for me because it was addressed to someone called Rutica. But I was at a loose end, so I thought I'd follow the address on the card and turn up to a party. Who doesn't like a party? Turned up in a part of Ipswich, a very nice part of Ipswich, where the houses were nothing like the houses in the neighbourhood I lived in, or still live in. The houses in our neighbourhood, we wipe our feet on the way out. Kind of. I turned up at the party, walked down this long driveway, past these big expensive cars. Don't know the names of any big expensive cars, so we'll say a Chevrolet, because I know someone in here will know what a Chevrolet is. I walked through the door and I suddenly realised I was overdressed. I turned up in my dinner jacket because I thought someone like Rutica probably owned a dinner jacket. But it was a posh place, so I thought kind of dressing posh was probably all right. The downside being that people kept asking me where the toilets were. So there I was, stood in the party. I did what I like to do at parties. I figured out the doorway where the food was coming out, and I positioned myself right there, a bit like a traffic island mixed with a waste disposal unit, just scooping things off trays as they came past. I could see this one person, this bloke, laughing kind of very loudly as he made his way around the room. So I assumed he must have been the host. I was starting to get cold feet, and I was sort of looking at the door thinking I should probably go now. I'm fairly conspicuous here in my dinner jacket while everyone else is just wearing Christmas jumpers and things like that. And I was about to make my escape when the host came over. One of those people who laughs before they've said a joke. So I kind of figured it was going to be difficult to sneak out without him noticing. He came over and asked my name, and I quickly told him it was Rutica, and he just smiled politely and nodded. And the conversation ran dry. We just sort of ran out of things to say until he gestured round and he pointed at the corner of the room where there was this enormous grand piano. It was beautiful, really shiny, you know, not the sort of one where someone gets a piano and puts it in the corner room and puts all the family photos on it. It was a real work of art. It was immaculate. There wasn't even any fingerprints on it. Sometimes you get a very glossy, black grand piano. You can see where people have leant against it. No one's putting their drinks on it. It was like it was there like a little shrine. It was a beautiful thing. So I thought, well, this gives me something to talk about. So I said to him, can you tell me about the piano? You know, do you play? And he said, oh, not at all. I thought, this is strange. Why has he got this beautiful piano? This isn't something that you would just, you know, buy from IKEA or somewhere. It was a real work of art. So I said, well, are you learning to play? Oh, not at all. I thought, this is getting curious. I said, do you have children? See, I shouldn't have asked if he had children because I'm sure Rutica would have known. And he said, yes, I have children. I said, oh, do they play? Oh, not at all. And I thought, well, what a waste of money. Why has he bought this beautiful instrument if no one can play it? And I thought, well, this is a hell of a party. You know, he's the hors d'oeuvres, most of which I've kind of managed to eat, were really good. The wine was really top quality wine. It wasn't the kind of wine that I'm used to, where you could get the sort of stuff you get 2 bottles for $5, the kind of the off license on the corner. I thought maybe he's just generous. Maybe he's brought in, you know, rented this piano so that somebody, you know, one of the guests can play it. Maybe he's going to hire, you know, maybe there's a pianist coming and it's going to be the entertainment. So I asked him this, is there a pianist coming? Oh, not at all. And I thought, this is getting difficult. I'm running out of things to ask about this piano. So I just said, well, why is the piano here? And he said, because it's terribly expensive, terribly rare, expensive piano. And I thought, I don't know, is that just strange? Is he just a show off? And he said to me, he said, do you play? And I said, do I play? Ho, 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 I said, do I play? he didn't ask me again if I played. He just sort of gestured towards the piano. So I looked at it and I thought, I'm kind of drawn to it. It is a thing of beauty. So I said, watch this. And I started making my way over to the piano, and the host stood up on a little chair and rung a fork against a glass saying, shh, 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 everyone, 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 everyone. And I walked over to the piano. I could feel the room kind of coming to a hush. And I thought, what do I do? I know what. I'm going to play that piano like nobody has ever played that piano before. And as I walked down, sat down, I heard someone say, can he really play? And the host just sort of nodded knowingly. And I did. I proceeded to play that piano like nobody had ever played it before. I played it with my head, my elbows, my knees, just a nearby cat. And that's when the host asked me if I was familiar with how his front door worked. And that was the end of my evening. Merry Christmas.
Fantastic.